Okay. Yep. Okay, it is 4 p.m. and we will call the Committee on City Operations to order. Please let the record reflect that all committee members are present. If I could have a motion to approve the March 12th, 2026 minutes.
So moved.
Proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. We are going to move down to item 4 on the agenda, public comment. I know that the room is we're going to run out of space if anyone else shows up. I would ask if you are ready to present your public comment, if you could please stand, state your first and last name, and then continue with your comment. So we will start, I guess we can start on this side of the room for members of the public who would wish to comment on any agenda item. If you'd like to either raise your hand or pass, I'm not exactly sure who all may have a comment. Please go ahead.
From here?
Yep, that's
okay. Yeah.
it. Please state your first and last name.
Yeah. My name is Dr. Ernesto Mireles. I am a resident of Lansing, pretty much a lifelong resident of Lansing. Coming today to talk about the Cesar Chavez issue. I should also say too that I recently was hired to work at MIPODER. I want to urge on behalf of MIPODER and a number of individuals that we met last night who had been involved in the 24-year struggle for Cesar Chavez Avenue for a 90-day period where we have a chance as a community to talk about how it is that we want to deal with this. I understand and I've seen across the country how quickly streets and statues and schools and things are coming down. However, I will tell you as a Chicano Studies professor, somebody who has dedicated their life to the study, the history and the theory of the Chicanada, that there is no other community in this country. And I really want that to sink into you guys. There is no other city in this country that has a 24-year history of fighting for this street. Now, that being said, I think it's important to understand that within those 24 years, that it became less and less about Cesar Chavez and more about the struggle that Chicanos and Latinos in Lansing and in Michigan face. I have written articles about this, published academic articles. I have created a documentary that details in part this 24-year struggle. So when I say to you that this is a very serious issue on the part of my community, the community that I'm from, I grew up here. I went to Eastern High School. I graduated in 1984. I have 3 degrees from Michigan State University. I'm absolutely 100% a product of Lansing, Michigan. This is not something to be trifled with or to be rushed into at all. And anybody who tries to do that, I think, is going to be very disappointed by the outcome that they receive from that. We fought for 24 years for that level, just one stinky street. We fought for 24 years for one stupid street. If we are prepared to fight for another 24, trust me, because this is important. 90-day period, that's it. And then we can figure out during that time, will give us a chance to speak with the community. It will give us a chance to breathe. I mean, this is, it's, as I was just telling this young brother, when I read that article, that was like somebody telling me that my father molested my sisters, right? This is really bad. It's bad. You also have an opportunity here in Lansing. Say, boom, okay, let's put a pause on this. And instead of making all of these knee-jerk sort of reactions about what is to be done, that we can have a thoughtful conversation about oppression and about resistance to that oppression and what it means to acknowledge the wrongdoing that somebody has done and move forward in a way that is spiritually beneficial for the whole community. Because this isn't just about Chicanos. Like I said, I'm from here. This affects every part of this community. I won't say it does equally, but it affects every part. Every one of us carries a piece of this. If you have lived here for more than 30 years, then you carry a piece of this. There's no way you don't know about this struggle. It's not possible, right? So we need to pump the brakes, think about what's being done, think about how we're going to do it, and then allow the Chicano Latino community to have this discussion, to take the lead in it, which we were denied for 24 years. Recognize the work that has been done, that has been accomplished, right? And let us handle our internal business. I mean, I understand the street name change has to be done and there are businesses along there. But the names have to be changed no matter what, right? Even if it goes back to Grand Avenue, it's still got to be changed back to Grand Avenue. So what's 90 days, right? And that's a small amount of time to give a group of people to have a conversation. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next public comment. If you could raise your hand, I think we're moving. I'm sorry. I said I would start on this side of the room for the first two. Raise your hand. We'll go 1 and 2. Please stand and state your first and last name.
Natalia Reyes, and I've been with Street Name Change since 1994 when my cousin Paulito started on Grand Avenue. And so I've been here since the beginning, and everybody would always ask why, now it's an old town. Why? Because back in the 50s and 40s, there was a sugar company that was owned, and most of the workers were Mexican Americans. A lot of them came from down south to pick in the fields over here on US 27. One of my grandparents were the first Hispanic. Can you imagine first Hispanics in Lansing, Michigan, out of 4 families? Unheard of in my era. Never heard of such a thing ever. So when we say we love this side of town, this is where you found our families. That's where we came because we worked off the US 27 picking. Okay. So we have just as much right to be here in Lansing to show the work that we did, picking your lettuce, tomatoes, sugar, whatever it may be. We're just as part. And we love the association and where it's come. We love them. But we just want to be able to say we want 90 days to make a decision on whether we should change it, keep it, whatever it may be, just to be able to have that time to think and see and consider what sources that we have and what we would like to do. We have no problem meeting with the association and talking to them and what their thoughts, because it's not just always one-sided on what we want. We want to make it so it's togetherness, because we accomplish more together than we do singly. That's what I'd like to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Another public comment on this side. If you could say your first and last name.
My name is Maria Garcia, and I live on the east side. I have a few things I want to say, not specifically to the street so much as it is to what's happening. The timing on this couldn't be more devastating. We are hunted down right now. We are, as a people, Latinos, Mexican Americans, Chicanos, brown people of color. The president built his political career saying horrible things about us. Okay. So in the last, couple of years now, more than that, but we've been fighting this battle, right? This has been very personal for us. So the timing for this to happen is really bad. I mean, it hurts. It's like it's a real painful thing. It's like being kicked in the ribs, right? To Todd's comment, you know, the movement that we were part of the movement. To Natalia's comments, we raised our families here. I mean, there's a lot of history here. I think of it as a braid, right? All of this is a braid, and we are all part of the same braid. Okay, so I'm going to read off of my notes because I'm already starting to hear my voice shake. It is very real. It is very painful. It is very important that we get support from the community. Okay, so my thoughts. We made a myth out of a man, and that is on us. It's also on us to change that. We acknowledge the harm that he caused, and collectively and culturally, we need to heal, and we need to bury Cesar Chavez for the second time. And we are prepared to do that. The newspaper says, the headline says there's a push. There's no push. We are already on that. We're pulling it. You know, we're not being pushed to do anything. We acknowledge the pain of the victims. You know, we acknowledge the pain that this is causing to any woman, child, whatever. And I think about the victims, and I think about how they were 12 when, 12, 13, 14. They're my age now, but I still think of them as children. So the compassion for the victims is there. And so we know the responsibility of changing this name. We know we can't be part of that harm. But back to the movement. That movement was rooted in dignity, and there is no shame in that. We fought for the most oppressed group of people at the time, and one man's actions cannot change that, and so there's pride in that. And this is very complex. Okay, so we're not going to like sanitize or demonize or anything, right? We're just going to move forward. Yeah. When we marched, it was for justice, and that is still what we're doing. We're seeking justice. And corner belongs to us. The space, the street belongs to us. That battle was fought. We took that hill. So this isn't, and I say this with complete and total commitment. This is not open to discussion for, somebody else. I saw somebody said, well, let's call it Magic Johnson Street. Well, no, that's not what this is about. We need to still honor the movement, the farm workers movement, whether it's, the street changes to something that, is about the farm workers or justice in general, or, si se puede, or la causa. Things are being tossed around. That belongs to us, and we need the time to mourn, to heal, to move forward, and we will. And we'll probably be done before 90 days. But I think that it's important that people realize that this is not us, just a name, just a street. This is about our lived experience. I was probably 8 years old when I was marching with Dad in heat rapes for 10 years. I mean, we've all had that same history, that same familiar history. So I think for me, the important part is to say, we need to keep the history, acknowledge the harm, and remove the icon and move forward. And that's kind of like where I would like to see all of us go. Does that sound good? Thank you so much.
We'll move to the other side of the room and start at the end and then work our way down.
Hello, my name is Bradley Rakowski. One of the owners of a shop on Cesar Chavez. Full disclosure, I am married to the Lansing City Clerk, Chris Swope, so if you don't know me through my shop, you know me through my husband. I agree, at least 90-day pause on all of this. To add insult to injury, we still don't have the parking resolved in Old Town. And the mayor just kind of has lapped it off and very upset about that. But I understand that's another thing. We're talking about the renaming of the street. So I was on Cesar Chavez when it was Grand River. They got renamed and it's not even been 10 years. It is not just a monetary thing where you have to have new business cards and your checks printed and all that stuff. It is having to take 200 vendors and tell them, hey, we didn't move. We now have a new street address again. I am a furniture store. I'm a department store, but our biggest thing is furniture. For 2 years, we've had people not understanding where we were. Google couldn't figure it out. We've had freight trucks be returned back to California, so delayed furniture for clients. Renaming a street is nothing simple. It is very complex. I want to quote Bad Bunny, Ice Out. So I support our beautiful community of Lansing. There's so many people, but I disagree with you that this is a Latino issue. This is an issue with the whole community. And as a gay man that owns a business in a gay area of the city, I would love for my community to work with your community so we can come up with something and honor everybody. And if we rename the street, please let's not rename it after somebody else because we are human beings. We are not perfect. I pray that Martin Luther King doesn't have somebody come out against him, that we have to change that road. Let's be really thoughtful about how we rename the street and understand it impacts so many people. Again, it's a lot of work. I don't want to have to redo this again.
Yeah.
It was Franklin Street, then it become Grand River. Now it's Cesar E. Chavez, and I'm East, so it's E. period Cesar E. period Chavez. And I'm okay leaving it Cesar Chavez. And everyone might look at me and say how terrible of a person I am. As you said, you know, it's hard. It's like waking up and you find it out. It's like I heard and I'm like, I can't believe it. But we're human beings. And I just think that slowing this down and being really thoughtful about what we name the street and opening it up to many different communities, right? And have all of us have input and not just name it after one community, but multifaceted like Lansing is. You know, I moved here in 1984 when I graduated high school. So I've been here for 42 years. If you want to do the math, yes, I'm 60. But this is my home. I invested heavily into this area. And I want to see us grow. I want to see us thrive. And I want to see everybody be represented. And I mean, look at our city council, how amazing is that? I mean, bravo. It's amazing. So yes, 90 days, at least 90 days, I agree. We need to be thoughtful and bring lots of different voices in on this name change. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next.
Hello, my name is Dale Schrader, and I'm really glad to have been able to hear everyone tonight. And you know, it actually, you know, makes me appreciate the partnership of this whole thing. And I'm very sorry about what happened, you know. And and you know, the thoughtful comments that everyone's made. I own 4 properties on Cesar Chavez Grand River, including the gas station on the corner of Capitol there. I just have to say, this is, I know when Bradley was talking about the changeover, it's not easy. It just wasn't easy. So, and we are on Cesar E. West Cesar E. Chavez, and navigation it was a mess. And they finally got that all straightened out. And we're used to it, and we're happy to move on. Then this all happens, and you know, I'm a history person. I used to be president of Preservation Lansing, and it's the road Grand River, the Grand River Avenue ran. It was formed in 1926. Ran all the way from the Detroit River all the way to Lake Michigan, And Grand Rapids, did away with that part, but it still did go from the Detroit River to Grand Rapids or outside of Lowell. And we changed the name and okay, that's fine. But and I agree that if it has to go back to something, there's a lot of history on that road. It is a special road to have a connection with all the other communities along the way. Novi, Okemos, East Lansing. I mean, there's like 17 communities that are involved in this. And I don't have a lot to say, but I will say that, when we change it, if it has to be changed, let's consider this one, it was once Grand River. I think there's still a lot of people I explain, well, that's the road that's been changed, when I'm giving directions, and there's a lot of time and effort goes into that with tenant screenings and people wanting to see properties and so forth. So that's kind of an insensitive comment, but, I just want to say that, that's about all I really have to say. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Okay, thank you so much, everyone who took time to be here and speak on the agenda item.
We have one virtual.
Oh, do we have a virtual public comment?
No, he's here. If it's Patrick Howe,
Yeah, he's here on an
he's
agenda
on
item.
an agenda.
Okay. Thank you very much. We are going to continue going down the agenda for the rest of our business. We will go to item 5B. The first item is a resolution for the reappointment of Brian, is it Bear?
Yes.
Bear as a member of the Capital Area District Library Board for a term to expire April 15th, 2030. My understanding, this is a reappointment. So thank you very much for being with us. I really appreciate your service on the Cattle Board thus far. I was hoping you could talk to us a bit about your experience, what you enjoy about serving on the Cattle Board, and maybe something you're most proud of during your time on the board.
It's been a great experience. It's an organization I didn't know much about as an organization. I was a library user. I love the libraries, but it's very good. There's a nice connection between the city and the outlying communities because, of course, Cattle covers the whole county except for East Lansing. So that's been really eye-opening to see the different branches and different we have the downtown library, which is quite large. Then we have Aurelius, which is this tiny little room at the very far southwest corner of our county. And so it's been interesting to deal with all the individuals and all the groups involved with that. And I think I'm trying to be a strong advocate for the city. We are the biggest, obviously the biggest number of patrons, number of people supporting the library from the city. So I try to support the city, try to promote the city as much as possible in my position. The biggest achievement, the downtown building has certain physical problems. The whole building, pipes are falling apart and stuff. And so one of the tasks we had to do is the local history library was the collection was the basement of the building, and it's building with all these broken pipes that are breaking and stuff, having these valuable materials. So we did end up buying a building for that. Unfortunately, we could not find a location in the city. We looked a couple places, but we had to. So I said we moved this collection. It's going to be moving this next couple of weeks. I am unhappy that it had to be out of the city limits, but it was the best choice for the library. So that's probably my biggest. I think probably the biggest change. Major change is the first piece of property the library's ever bought in the 28 years they've been in existence. So.
Thank you for that. Any other questions or comments from committee members? Councilman Cost?
Thank you. Where's the property? Where'd you guys end up buying?
It's in, okay, now we lost, I would say Okemos, but it's the next town over. It's what's that? No, it's the south side. It's on the highway. It's on Okemos Road and the highway. So there's all of this. No, it's
Alden Township.
Allison, thank you. Yes. Yeah. It's a very small township. It's right. It's literally on 96 and just So between Jolly and 96 and just west of, or just east of Oakness Road.
Okay.
So the hotel, there's like a couple hotels there and so forth. So
At Tailgaters, gas station.
we've not been there for the tailgating season yet. I guess we'll find out. So, okay.
It's called, the gas station's called Tailgaters.
Okay.
At Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
I can't partake in Dunkin' Donuts anymore, so I know where they're all at. Brian, I have to say, full disclosure, he's my neighbor.
Oh.
Literally my neighbor, one block over. Fantastic job you've done on the board. I really look forward to you continuing on this board. I appreciate you not only serving on this board, but the neighborhood advisory board. That certainly was, I think, had its special set of challenges this year, and you navigated quite well. I appreciate everything you do in the community. And I look forward to 4 more years on the library board. And then I was going to ask on the downtown location, are you still in the belief that we need a downtown library location?
Absolutely a downtown location. And the mayor's office is very clear that we'll have a downtown location for sure, certainly.
Great. Those are all my questions.
Great. Any other questions?
No, I just want to say that we haven't worked together in a long time, but I remember you in my AmeriCorps Vista service, and you're always, you don't have to duck here. You're always very kind and thoughtful and considerate, very collaborative. So I appreciate that, and I have no doubt that you're spectacular on the library board. So with that, I would like to move the resolution to reappoint Brian Bear as a member of the Capital Area District Library Board for a term to expire April 15th, 2030.
Okay, a proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye. Motion passes. Thank you so much for being with us this evening and spending some time with us. We look forward to your continued service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Night.
Okay, moving on to item 5C, the resolution for a liquor license, Shake Shack Michigan LLC for a SDM and Class C license for Sunday sales in the PM on premises Sunday sales for and PM and outdoor service at 3106 East Saginaw Street, Suite A. And I believe we have Patrick Howe virtually, who is the attorney representing the Shake Shack business.
Yes, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Allow me to participate virtually. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we hear you. Are you able to hear us?
I can hear you, and for some reason my camera is not allowing me to join, but if I can just stay on the mic, that'll be fine with me.
Okay, thank you. I do see that we've received several items of paperwork that appear to be in order, including your operating agreement, the application, the lease agreement for the location, and the liquor license purchase agreement, which I understand originated in Okemos and now is being purchased for a Lansing establishment. Is there anything that you'd like to offer in support of this resolution before us?
No,
Patrick?
I would just add that this is Shake Shack's first sort of mid-Michigan location, branching out of the metro area. They've been around for many years. They have 7 locations in Michigan, all of which hold a liquor license. It's a very small portion of their operation. They offer a few select beverages, beer, wine, and mixed cocktails at their locations. They offer a special Shake Meister beer at their locations that you can only get at a Shake Shack. So it's something that they have across the country, and it's a very limited part of their sales, but it is important to them. They have a great operating history with the Liquor Commission and follow all state and local laws. All the servers are properly trained in the service of alcohol. And happy to answer any questions and appreciate your support.
Thank you. Do any of our committee members have questions or comments on this application, any documents submitted, or the resolution overall?
It looks like we have approvals from just about everybody on here. I don't have any questions. I see that they're open. You guys are open now, right?
That's correct. They opened in mid-February.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Good.
It's gonna be hard to pass on that beer he just talked about.
It's a beer shake, is that what it, I mean,
Look, there goes Ryan's diet.
With
I'm not
that-
aware of a beer shake. They do have great milkshakes, but no, they have
Oh.
their own
You're not
draft beer.
helping. Let's just pass this.
With that, I would move the resolution to support the liquor license for Shake Shack Michigan.
Okay, that is a proper motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the resolution passes. Mr. Howe, thank you very much for being with us virtually this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. Nice evening.
Thank you. Moving on to item 5D, the resolution for the Special Assessment Principal Shopping District 2026 role. We do have Kathleen Ederle from DLI Inc. with us, as well as James Lennon from the Old Town Commercial Association. You know, we've gone over this in previous meetings, but Kathleen, if you have anything to add to what we're reviewing here, I do have an item to bring forward related to this, but if you'd like to go ahead and kick us off with this.
Sure. Downtown Lansing Inc. is proud to oversee the principal shopping district in collaboration with our partners at the Old Town Commercial Association. We are the management agency for the PSD. PSD District B falls in line with Old Town Commercial Association's kind of neighborhood, and they recently led the expansion efforts in collaboration with us for that District B. For the role that went out, there are no changes past the recent expansion of the District B district, as well as the assessment rate increase that was passed a couple of years ago to happen annually for all of the PSD districts. When we talk about the principal shopping district and the services that are provided, that typically covers, per the bylaws and ordinance, maintenance and marketing. For District A, the PSD assessment revenue that is collected covers the maintenance and portion of one staff member. And then all the rest we fundraise, write grants for, et cetera. James, I don't know if you want to add anything for the District B and what you oversee.
Yeah, absolutely. The PSD supports things like historic preservation, collaborative marketing efforts that, drive foot traffic to the Old Town District, which has absolutely been proven to work within the central Old Town District over the last 30 years. Beautification projects. We have two, spring cleanups this spring coming. We have fall cleanups, and then spread out throughout the year. We have activity and beautification efforts that reach out into our community, and we organize those things. And then, as Kathleen touched on, dedicated staff members that work in these areas and help organize those events and activities for our district.
Okay, well, thank you very much for being here and speaking on the special assessment for the principal shopping district overall. We have received several appeals to the special assessment. And so I did contact the city attorney's office earlier today to ensure that I was following procedure properly. So what we're going to do is go through each appeal that's been submitted and discuss whether or not that appeal should be granted, approved, or denied. So I do have a list. Renee is my backup in case I happen to miss anyone that has submitted an appeal. But first, we will address the objection in writing to the special assessment by Amy O'Leary. And that is, I believe, representing the O'Leary Paint property, 1115 Center Street. Now, we've all received the packet and had these items in writing. Do we have any questions or items of consideration?
I don't think that's the O'Leary Paint.
Oh, is it?
I think they have a different business. Is it O'Leary Paint?
It's that building, just.
Yep.
Okay. Nope, you were right.
Okay. Your husband, my husband, I'd say that again. I'm just kidding. Okay, so any considerations, questions on this appeal that has been submitted? Okay, and it's my understanding that, although property owners may submit an appeal, the sentiment that we've heard from DLI as well as OTCA is that in general, these entities do receive a benefit from this assessment in some way, whether it's direct or indirect. With that, I suppose I would take a motion to either, yes.
I did find the appeals to the assessor, and I know that the CATA one, she did make an adjustment, so I don't know if she's provided you with that adjustment.
So that is actually next on my list to address specifically the CATA. And I understand I did connect with OCA on that one specifically. And we're taking these one by one. So this is not a catch-all for the appeal.
I guess my only question is, do they have to be present?
No, they've submitted their appeal in writing. And we did have a public hearing on this PSD at our most recent city council meeting.
Okay.
So
Then I would make a motion to
you want to
or deny.
Depends on what you want to do. Do you want to approve it or deny it?
I guess my question is what,
either
I will
way.
tell you that we've gotten this every year and
Yeah.
we've denied it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand their frustration, but
motion to deny.
Okay, we have a proper motion to deny the appeal for the O'Leary property, 1115 Center Street. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay,
can I just quickly?
sure.
So everyone is aware, we're not trying to be the Grinch that stole Christmas with money. It's just that, if we start popping out this person and this person with special exemptions, then, for example, Mr. Schrader, who mentioned he has 4 properties, it really starts that downhill roll that I don't think we want to jump into.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I thank you for that. And I was actually, when we get to it, I had a similar sentiment to another appeal that we've received. So, but I agree with you. So, moving on to our next item, we do have an appeal that was submitted by Dustin Hagfors on behalf of the Capital Area Transportation Authority. My understanding after connecting with OCA is that the way this property is classified, because it's owned by CATA, is actually exempt from this particular rule. So in this instance, I would ask for a motion to approve this appeal regarding the CATA property specifically.
So this is for you, Lisa. Because it is an exempt property, do we actually need to make a change? Or can the assessor make the change?
So this is the role that's in front of you. So I would recommend that this body make the change and modify the role if that's the goal. I will say it qualifies as one of the exempt reasons under 211.7M. When you look at your role that you have in front of you, the other entities that are exempt for that specific political subdivision are 100% exempted from this. So it appears it could have been an oversight, but in order to just make it clear, I would recommend processing it as an appeal and then proceeding from there.
So move the motion. To approve.
Motion to approve the appeal
CATA.
for CATA. Okay, thank you. That is a proper. In favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It passes. Next, we are on to the appeal for Amy's Catering. Again, this is a business located within the PSD, and we've received a written appeal. Any discussion or questions? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
Motion to deny the appeal.
Look at the document. Okay, a proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, I want to address the appeal submitted in writing on behalf of Kenneth Black on behalf of the Emmanuel First Lutheran Church. Now, I understand that this appeal submitted in writing expresses that as a church, they're exempt from property taxes. However, my understanding is that this special assessment rule is not necessarily tied to property tax status or that particular exemption, and that according to the rule, they actually do have a 25% reduction of their assessment as opposed to other commercial properties. that are on the roll. So, you know, for discussion on this one, I would say that, you know, the assessment is already reduced in comparison with other types of properties on the roll. So I would be comfortable denying the appeal, but open to any conversation on that.
I move the motion.
Okay, proper motion to deny the appeal. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next, we have an appeal submitted by Foster Swift, Attorney Thomas Dillon on behalf of Friedland Industries, Bass Rifkin, and L2 ETC properties. Again, this falls within the principal shopping district, and of course, open to any conversation or a motion.
Motion to deny the appeal.
Okay, we have a proper motion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Your motion passes. Next item I have is the written appeal on behalf of Kanick Properties, which includes one business, Ryan's Auto Care. In their appeal, they express that they have 3 vacant parcels, but 1 business, and they are appealing the assessment. Again, I would entertain a motion unless there is any other comment or question on this particular one.
Motion to deny the appeal.
Okay, proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And we did have one public comment at our most recent city council meeting. And Renee, if you could give me the name of the.
It was Steve Dean.
Steve.
Okay. Who has come before us at the public hearing, most recently at our last council meeting, and appealed in person. Yes.
I've been in contact with Steve. I've already taken care of his situation.
Okay, so is that a motion to deny the appeal then?
Yes.
Is that, okay,
I would move to deny it.
proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Approved. Okay. Those are the appeals that I have on my list. Renee, do you show any outstanding? Okay. Thank you very much. With that, because we have made an adjustment to the CATA property, at this time, I would consider a motion to pass the resolution as a modified to reflect the granted appeal.
I would make a motion to approve as amended in the written roll.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to item 5E, the resolution for the special, and thank you so much for being with us. I'm sorry. I know I'm just trucking right along here, but I appreciate your time and being with us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 5E, the resolution on the special assessment for Glenburn Commons trash and grass abatement.
I'm sorry, can I quickly?
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
Before you
Sure.
disappear, just maybe a suggestion. So a lot of those appeals came from the new district that's been created. It might behoove Old Town Commercial Association to do a highlight of what it is you're, using that money for.
Absolutely.
And I figured you probably were down that, but I thought I would say something because it seemed, I think every one of those, in fact, was in that PSD zone.
They absolutely were. And we're actively promoting an advisory committee in actuality with the most impacted stakeholders and the most interested stakeholders that are being brought into this broadened boundary of the PSD. And so we're seeking out their advice and input in the areas that will affect them the most and the improvements they'd like to see the most. And so we will absolutely do that.
I got a list. Thank you.
I'd love to talk.
Well, that's great. Thanks for bringing that forward. Okay, moving on to item 5E, the resolution on special assessment, Glenburn Commons trash and grass abatement. This is another item that we have spoken on previously in committee as well as before council. We understand that this expense has been incurred, thank you, by the city. The the land was taken care of between March 31st, 2025 and November 30th of 2025. And so again, this is to for the expense that has already taken place by the city to address Glenburn Commons.
And since Councilman Hussein is not here, I will give his yearly spiel. This area is in the 3rd ward, and it struggled with trash and the grass, and it's got that boulevard down the middle. And so I think several years ago, I can't remember how many ago, we started doing the special assessment to maintain that area. And so every year, this has been something that we get before us at the beginning of the year and pass. And I think that the prices have stayed pretty level.
Yeah, I
So-
believe it was approximately $57 per occupied parcel of land.
Yep.
So,
Okay, I would move the resolution then.
okay, proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye. Thank you. Moving along to item 5F, the resolution on wet weather control program project plan amendment. And we have Andy Kilpatrick with us, if you'd like to take a seat at the table.
So briefly, what this is,
Interesting report.
Okay.
Anyway, so.
in order to qualify for state revolving fund loans, we have to have a project plan. Anytime we change that, and want to, add another project, we have to do an amendment. So we did an amendment, or prepared the amendment. We had a public hearing meeting, 25th, that would be yesterday. We had one person show up, but not really comment on the amendment. So the resolution you have is it's to add a large project with digesters at the wastewater plant. That's like $88 million, which is something that we've had tanks out there that have not been used in decades, and we need to do something with them. And because of CSO, we've been spending a lot of our money on the pipes and not on the plant, and we need to do something there. So this does not say we're moving forward with the project. This allows us to apply for SRF funding for that project in the future. So that's really the only change with this amendment.
Okay, and my understanding is that this will also, per the resolution and the report, keep us in compliance with the state of Michigan with Eagle.
Yes, we're not out of compliance now, but we have to do the projects that are in this plan. Yes. Compliance, correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments on this item?
Anyone who hasn't toured the wastewater plant wants to go out there and see it, all its glory.
I know Councilman Cost has toured it.
I have. It's a good tour. I stopped at the gift shop.
Brownies are the best.
Oh.
But no, in all seriousness, if someone does want to see it, because there's a lot of great stuff out there. There's a lot of old stuff that is still working, but does need to be upgraded. And, we're welcome to show people.
It is very interesting to take the tour if you have not taken it. Really is.
All right. Well, thank you. I don't have any outstanding questions. You've confirmed, the dollar amount of the loan that is existing out there that could be applied for. So that was my only question, was just to make sure that I had that correct. And that we are in compliance and wish to maintain compliance. So you've answered those questions that I had. Any other questions or discussion?
No, I would move the resolution.
Okay, a proper motion has been made. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. I need to sign up for that.
Yeah.
I will. I will be in.
Citizens Academy's out there. You can come
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, moving on to our final item, the discussion item, the renaming of Cesar E. Chavez, and that should be Avenue instead of Street. So my apologies for not making that correction earlier. Again, this is a discussion item on the topic. We've had several, folks during the public comment portion. I'd like to open it up to the committee for any comments that we have, and let's just talk about it. Yeah. Councilman Cost?
So we had feedback, I think, from Dr. Menendez, I believe. Menendez. Okay. My hearing sucks. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 people that commented on it. 3 were community members. I think it's very clear that they're highly focused on the historic nature of how long they fought to get a name change for the Latino community in Lansing. And I think that, and I think everybody made that suggestion that we slow roll and have meaningful discussions. In fact, I think those discussions were kind of a mimic of meeting with Old Town Commercial Association last night, which is in our packet as well.
Did put a document that was presented on, which I think, and for anyone who has the ability to look up that packet online, all council members have been provided a copy of this. It really speaks to not only the experience of the business owners, but it does speak to being good partners and working together in good faith as a community, toward a change.
Yeah, and I think that making sure that the community is involved in this is a necessity. As someone that I think the avenue runs completely through the first ward. It might be a touch in the fourth, but I think it's vitally important that all those people that came to the table when it was changed have a seat at the table again. That we communicate with the business owners that are there. We communicate with the residents that live in that corridor that are going to be affected by this name change because there's costs there. So we talked about that last night, Social Security checks. The businesses are going to have what they estimated at, $2,100 worth of change things.
Yeah, and that was on average per business. Like, we know that not all businesses are the same, but OTCA has put out a poll for their business owners that would be affected by a name change, and some of that feedback informs the document that we received.
And I think that it's a valid point to say that no one has dreamed up any plan or any idea, because I think, the community, and I don't know if the community knows this or not, but it should be important that we're listening first before we start grabbing or saying, well, let's just, change it right back to Grand River and then, do this. I mean, I think we're open to all ideas except for the fact that I would have a hard time leaving it as is with the accusations against children or against him with children and his partners in the farm laborers movement. It's an unfortunate truth that, renaming things after people this is one of the challenges, is stuff can come up later. That is true of the communities that I belong to. I don't want to speak for others' communities, but we're living through it right now. It's challenging, and I think that another thing that we touched on was mentioned by someone here, which is Old Town is an LGBTQ cultural center, and so as a member of that community, I think that it would be fantastic to have 2 communities that don't have opposing goals, but togetherness goals to work together to find a solution to not only the street, but there's also the plaza, the parking lot.
Exactly. A lot there.
But I really think it's important that for me, I don't want to speak for the committee, but for me, that we do some thoughtful listening. We try to make it to every kind of meeting we can. We'll be talking about this in my constituent meeting next Saturday at 11 a.m. at Allen Neighborhood Center. OTCA will be setting up something with the business owners and the residents. And I think we're looking at some kind of an open meeting as well. And it sounds like the gentleman that spoke first is looking to do some meetings. I think that born out of all of that should be something that unites us. I don't want to see this get ugly like it did when it was changed. And I think it can be smooth. this isn't easy. This isn't fun.
Right.
No one wants to do this. So.
Yeah, no, exactly what you said. I don't disagree with your comments. I do think we should work intentionally and we should take time and connect with community as much as possible in a variety of areas, and ultimately do something that makes sense. And we don't want to change this name again. We don't want to go down this road again. So many of the comments about naming something after a person, right? People are flawed. I do not disagree with that. And I do think that we should be intentional with our time. And you're right, communities are already organizing and coming together and speaking on that. And there should be ample amount of time for input to have those conversations and work closely together toward that common goal. So I echo many of your comments that you've just stated. The question I have for the committee is, we did have a suggestion to pause for 90 days. And I'm wondering how other committee members feel about a 90-day pause. We can certainly table for 90 days and come back.
I think as a committee, we just table that for 90 days and get out in the community and hear what the community has to say.
I think it's also important too, an aspect of all of this, speaking from a personal standpoint, you know, we're all, I think, of a certain generation that like we're interested in the intersection, right, of different communities coming together. But for me personally, as a Latina, and so tied close to MSU, as a dancer, a lot of my friends were victims of Dr. Larry Nassar. And so I think for me, this has like a remnant of all of that underneath. And so I especially appreciate the opportunity to take a pause because of that, because that was also only 10 years ago as well, right? So that whole process of such big physical change on the street, right? But then also, you know, we're not separate from the university, right? We're so interconnected in so many ways. So I very much appreciate both of your comments and the comments of everyone that came today, because it does affect all of us. So.
Yeah. And I think it speaks to the healing, you know, that we heard earlier. I mean, people are hurting in ways, whether they're survivors of, you know, assault or mourning the loss of someone that they revered and looked up to. So there's a lot to unpack there. But I'm certainly open and amenable to a motion to table for 90 days.
And I just want to concur with the pain. I mean, you know, when you have so many of your heroes, and Chavez was yet again one of my heroes, that I continue to check off the list of stuff. You know, the Clintons, you know, some of them were my personal heroes, and to see him all over these Epstein files. I mean, the list goes on and on. This, you know, so there is a lot of pain, I think, especially with this one. This one was tough.
And I just want to, in addition to all that, I think that this committee has a real opportunity for us to work closely together and intentionally. Councilman Koss, certainly you're the first ward representative. This affects your ward specifically. And then working with certainly the Latino community, taking feedback. I think this is a really good space to navigate the name change.
I think it's also, I think it's a great opportunity too, to look at like what other cities are doing.
Yeah.
Especially in the Southwest, where there are like parks and avenues and boulevards and plazas.
And
so it might be like a great opportunity for us to connect with other cities.
California too.
You call California, we'll call Arizona.
Do you think the council has the budget to fly me out there?
I mean,
I'm not trying to make fun.
Go visit my son out there. Yeah.
It would be, that's a valid idea to look at what other cities are doing, and 90 days would certainly give us some time, because there are going to be other communities that are racing to get this scrubbed, or are going to have easier things to change. Different from a street, like park name is not going to affect
business. To recognize the complexity of the two things coming together. So I think we're all down of the two things coming together. So I think we're all down to work on,
Yep.
take our time.
And I certainly think that, yeah, and I certainly think that we'll have great ideas from the community and we follow their lead and, you know, whether that be, you know, going back to the name that was suggested with an honorary above it, whereas you don't have the name change issue ever again, or going with something else. I am confident that this body, this community will be able to work together and figure this out. I mean, we've conquered so much in this city. That as painful as it is, we'll push through and we'll make sure that we do this right. And I appreciate you continuing to mention intentionally, because we do need to be intentional with what we do.
Absolutely. With that, I would entertain a motion.
I would make a motion
Make a motion again?
to table it for 90 days. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Okay, a
What
motion
did I
has been
say?
made to table the resolution to rename Cesar Chavez for 90 days. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And that is the last item of business. We are adjourned at 5:01 PM.